Speed boost! Have you been in a situation where nobody on your team is willing to switch to a support except for you, but you don't know how to play any of them? Well, don't fear, for Thirst is here. Today I'm gonna go over Lucio. I will show you a few nifty tips and tricks, provide you information and stats that you had no idea about, and help you better understand this awesome hero. If you hate being a coward, hiding behind your team, Lucio is definitely the hero for you. He's the most mobile and unpredictable hero in the game, and with a skilled Lucio player on your team, victory is almost guaranteed. Whether it is running back after you get killed, stopping enemy ults, doing massive damage or healing your team, getting pentakills by throwing enemies off the map, or just completely nullifying an enemy payload push, Lucio can do everything. He's without doubt the most versatile hero in the game, able to fit almost any playstyle. With this guide, I decided to try out a new layout, so let me know how it works in the comments. The guide will no longer have transitions, but will flow more freely. There are going to be logical separations like in the movies, and the timestamps are going to be both in the description and in the left side of the screen, as you can see it now. So, now that we got the updates out of the way, let's start this guide up. To kick things off, let me mention that Lucio has amazing mobility and can boast the highest movement speed of any hero in the game, sitting at 11.66 meters per second if you want to be precise, while using his amp up speed ability. Granted, his base movement speed is only 6 meters per second like any other hero in the game, but it can be increased to 7 meters per second by switching to a speed song. You can maintain the amp up speed almost indefinitely, even after your ability duration expires, but we'll get into that much later. It is important to remember that Lucio's songs have a massive 30 meter range, but they do require you to be in direct line of sight with your teammates to work. This means that if your ally is standing right around the corner, but you cannot see him directly, he will not receive your buff auras. Lucio can become one of the most durable heroes in the game if he uses the combination of his amps and auras effectively. Quickly switching between speed and heal during an amp can give you the speed to get out of a sticky situation while still providing massive heal to your team. Speaking of that heal, Lucio will regenerate 12.5 health per second to himself and each ally within his line of sight, without any range fall off, while using his normal healing song, and 40 health per second while amping it up. It is worth pointing out that Lucio's auras do not stack, meaning if you have two Lucios on your team, with both using the healing song, any player will only receive one buff. You can, however, have two Lucios, and one will be always using speed, and say the other will always be using heal, and then all the players will receive both speed and heal, granted that they are in the line of sight of both Lucios. Lucio has one of the fastest charging ultimate abilities in the game, sitting at the AFK time of 3 minutes and 10 seconds. What? That was only 50%, really? Okay, never mind, Lucio has by far the slowest charging ultimate ability in the game, sitting at 6 minutes and 20 seconds. This means that extreme ultimate coordination and timing is detrimental for effective Lucio play. The ultimate itself will provide a 500 hit point shield to all allies within your line of sight at an infinite range. The shield will lose 100 hit points every second until it is depleted. It is worth adding that while your shield is up, the ultimate cannot begin recharging. As Lucio fires 4 plasma orbs, each will add 0.875 for a body shot and 1.75 for a headshot. And if all 4 manage to hit the target, the numbers will be 3.5% and 7% respectively. And each 15 points of healing that Lucio will do will add additional 1% towards his next ultimate. Lucio is actually capable of dishing out quite a bit of damage for his support, sitting at 128 DPS, if he manages to get all of his charges into the enemy head, of course. So with each charge dealing 16 damage for a body shot and having no fall off at range, Lucio has the ability to fire 4 of them per second for 5 seconds, until he needs to reload his magazine. Battery. Okay, so as you can see, it's biological goo, so if all 20 of his goo plasma sound balls hit the target, it will theoretically allow for 320 damage in the body, or 640 if all hit the head. Granted, with a travel speed of 33.33 meters per second, the charges are not the fastest moving things in the world, but they can hold their own. Lucio's sound wave, so the alternative fire he has, allow you to knock whole teams of enemies off cliffs. The ability itself will deal a nominal 25 damage, but will also knock enemies back 7 meters. Now this combined with a 4 second recharge rate is invaluable for getting enemies off points, disrupting their advance, or just generally messing with their formation. It is worth pointing out that the sound wave can only be blocked by Reinhardt's shield, Zarya's shield, Mei's ice block, and Reaper's Wraith form. Lucio has a deceiving health pool of 200. On the first glance, one might think that Lucio is very squishy, and in reality, he's definitely the tankiest support in the game. Perhaps the tankiest hero in the game if you play him correctly. With the healing song, Lucio can regenerate 12.5 health a second, and further increase it to 40 health per second by amping it up. And if you constantly switch between your healing and your speed song to mitigate incoming projectiles and damage, Lucio can actually stay in the front lines almost indefinitely without dying. His passive wall climb ability further increases his mobility, allowing for unpredictable escapes and travel paths. Lucio can also successfully dance around an enemy payload with the whole enemy team on top of it, completely stopping its advance. As stated previously, it is very important to time your ultimate correctly due to its lengthy recharge time, and using it to counter enemy ults is just a terrible idea. A much better choice would be just to switch to your speed boost and amp it up, allowing both you and your teammates to get away to safety, while saving your ultimate for crucial team pushes or counter pushes. Now, another good advice when using your ultimate is to switch to your speed song, as you will not be able to heal anyone anyway when you use your ult. Now, speaking of speed, remember how I mentioned that you can maintain your full amp speed without losing it? Well, the way to do it is to bunny hop, as your boost almost runs out. You can see it on the screen. That being said, you cannot switch to heal song while bunny hopping, as your speed will be lost. Another spin-off to bunny hopping is to bunny hop without using your amp up and just constantly switch between healing and speed, allowing you to be effectively healing 50% of the time while still maintaining the speed increase. However, I don't really see many benefits to this, as a 1 meter per second speed increase is not game breaking, but losing 50% of your healing, that's quite hefty, that's game breaking. Now that being said, it can be situationally helpful, like it can help you outrun some of the melee heroes if they're trying to chase you. Now the next tip is common sense, but I'm still gonna mention it. You need to constantly switch between speed and healing depending on the situation. Don't just always be sitting in one healing or speed, just constantly switch depending on the situation. Also, in previous patches, it was possible to wall climb straight up a flat wall. However, this was patched. There is still a method, however, to climb up a corner. It takes quite a bit of practice, but when executed properly, it can provide your team with constant healing or auras, as they will always be in your line of sight, and give your team invaluable knowledge of the enemy position. If I've missed any cool tips or tricks, please let me know in the comments. Also, if you have any comments or feedback regarding my new guide layout without section transitions, make sure you let me know. I want to say a massive thank you to Radin for helping me test everything out. I am indeed aware of the microphone pops and poor audio quality, and I'm currently working on obtaining a better microphone. I should have it by the next guide, so like the guide after the next guide. And if you want to speed that process up, I opened a Patreon account, and yep, I sold out. For people who want to support me. I would also like to say a massive thank you to literally everyone, all of you guys who've been supporting me so far. I can't believe it, like 5 days ago this channel had 100 subs, and today we're at 200. Guys, you're awesome! Please post your suggestions regarding the next hero I should do in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this guide, and remember, always stay thirsty for more
knowledge.